there and welcome back to Build with the Boys. We now have issue 53 of Hachette's Build the Titanic. For this month, so we've got 53 to 56, we are working on funnels. So we are making funnel 3 and 4. We're making the bases of those. We won't be finished with the funnels in this one, but it looks likely next month we will be finished with them. There's only one part of this that requires you to bring up your main part superstructure, which is quite nice. 54, 55 and 56 we're just working on independent parts which will ultimately attach to your superstructure, but at the moment we just need the superstructure for one, so that's quite nice. It's quite convenient for me, and we can put it away. At the end of this one we'll be able to have our Titanic talk. We'll be talking about the macabre story of Collapsible A, what was found on Collapsible A and what happened to the people on board Collapsible A. We'll be learning all about that. Let's get into this. It's been entirely too long, and then we'll have a chat at the end. Before we get into it, you will need something for issue 53. You will need these windows from issue 51, and you will need your vents from issue 51. So if you've not looked those out yet, look them out now because you're going to need both. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's take a look at what comes inside 53. Get this one open. Okay, not loads, more LEDs, two brown envelopes. Okay, let's have a look what's inside the mystery envelopes. These are like small details. And they are lots of tiny details, you recognise these. Okay, let's move these to the side for now. I'll do a full inventory check in a minute, make sure we got everything. Let's have a look what's in the larger of the envelopes. I would imagine this is our funnel base. And it is. Okay. So I think the only work we'll really be doing on the funnel base is I know we're installing those windows, which is why we need our windows over here for this one. So I think the windows go in there and there, there and there. So 4 windows will be added, and also a vent will be going in there. But the first thing I want us to do is add these details to the deck of the superstructure we've been building, and I would imagine the LED as well. So let's get that done. Okay, so this is the section we're working on. You can see from the last month we did our LEDs and our hatches there. It is just a case of installing details. That's all we're going to be doing. So we're doing the ventilators and installing those accordingly. So yeah, I mean, this is fairly straightforward. I'm looking at the instructions now. I don't think we're going to have too many problems with this. So that could be the famous last words. But let's get started. Now, again, I'm not gluing. You can, but I'm not gluing. The reason why is because if I want to remove these details later on, upgrade them, change them, whatever I want, I can. Again, unless you plan on flipping your Titanic upside down, these aren't going to go anywhere. So that one goes in there. That is our first ventilator. And then we have another one of those. Yep. Okay, so those two. Just make sure we get the right ones here. Okay, so this is the next one we're using, which is this one here. And that will be popping in just alongside this one here. Again, these are quite snug fit, so I really don't think glue is necessary. And again, if I can avoid using glue, I avoid using glue. Mum's not playing ball. Okay, these look the same, but they're not. They've got different lugs on. So you'll notice one's got a fat lug at the front, one's got a fat lug at the back. This is the one we actually need. So this one's going in there, like so, nice and easy. And then we have 53H, which again is being called ventilator, and that's going to pop in there like so. So that's those in. What else have we got to add? Okay, 3 more ventilators, which are going to pop in here as well. So we use 53C, which is, I'd like a little bit more description of the ventilators, but they're just 53C, that's it, that's what it's called, which is this one here. And that is going to pop in here like so. So it goes in there. Again, these are firm. So, I mean, you can glue if you want, but again, unless you're planning on flipping your Titanic upside down, I don't really see the need to. Mine's going into a case, so it's not like these are going to get lost or go missing. And again, it gives you the option that if you want to upgrade, you can. Once these are glued in place, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that because you're going to be having to, you know, basically tear things out. Okay. This one here is now going to pop it in front of these here. You see, that's snug. There's no need to glue. That one in there. And then finally, we have 53E, which is this one, and that is going to go in there like so. And we're in. Okay. Now we do have, and I can't see where it says to fit them, we do have some very, very tiny pieces here. I'm assuming they go onto the other piece, because that, they are saying, is all we have to do. They do. That's all we have to do on a superstructure. So for this month, you can put your superstructure away if you want to, or if you want to test fit your, funnels, you can, but you don't need any more superstructure this month. That's how we're looking with the house back on. It's lovely. It's really nice. I mean, again, just the deck's really coming to life. It's looking nice. Very happy with it so far. But let's put this away. Let's work on the next part. Okay, so these are the 4 pieces we've got left over. We're going to need our windows here. We're going to need our vent here. I'm going to bring over this piece here. So we are going to fit a few little touches to this, and also the LED. So we flip this one over, and our LED should only go in one way. I mean, there you go. The position of the bulbs should be a giveaway of where this is going. That's snug. Wow, compared to others, that's really snug. Okay, that's in. Okay, now to get that locked in place, I'll flip this one over, and all we're going to do is going to very gently ease these back. So that's that one in. Do the exact same thing here, by going in there and just gently easing it back. There we go. Push down, locked in. And that's where that is. There is the option to test at this point, of course. I mean, because again, I would advise doing this because you don't want to find out later on your LEDs don't work. That'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it? So let's pop this one in. There we go. Working LEDs. Aha. Happy with that. Okay. Right. So once we've done that, we've got a tiny little bit of piece of work to do on this one. We're going to flip this one over. And we have the 3 roof vents. Yeah. So these are self-explanatory here. So this one's going in there, like so. That one goes in there. Like so. And then this one, third and final one over here. And that fits in. Now again, as I said, I haven't glued those. So there's no need to use glues. You don't have to worry about gas marks and glue. They ain't coming out. So don't excessively use glue. Look, I mean, come on. They're not coming out. So just because they glue, don't just blindly glue things. That would be my advice. And the final one is we are going to use the support. So the support's going to go in here, which is this one here. This is going to pop in here. Now this probably will need gluing. That's where it is for now. That said, no, you don't need to glue these things. You just don't. So that's my advice. To kind of avoid just blindly glue in something. You don't need to. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put vents in, and the vent that we are going to use for this one is the big one. So this is your vents from 51, and we are going to be using this one here, and we are going to attach just a touch of super glue to the edges along here to pop that one in place. Let me get some glue and let's get that done. Okay, so I've applied glue to the, I mean, you can see barely any, enough to hold, because you don't need squishing out anywhere. You know, there's no weight being sustained here or anything like that, so you don't need to go mad on your glue. You just need it so it will hold in place, and then once glue bonds with that, that's never going to go anywhere. So that is that one in. And now the final thing we have to do is 4 windows. So we are going to be using, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Windows. I'm just gonna get them done, fellas. We know how the windows go in, so I'm gonna crack on with it. So now we have our windows installed, and we got those two there, and that is this piece complete for now. I lost a window. It's the first time it's ever happened to me, but it absolutely pinged. It went so fast that I believe it travelled through time. So somebody in like 1955 is about to get hit in the head with a little window. I apologise to them. But yeah, that's the first time that's happened to me. Lost a window. Hopefully we get more, but because I've given my spares away. But there we are. That's it for this one. Let's have a chat. So there we have it. That's 53 complete. We have a new piece for our superstructure. We can see where this is going to go. This is going to hold a funnel, which we'll be building in the next one. If you're sticking around for the build instructions, thank you for stopping by. Please remember to like and subscribe. Helps the channel massively. Thank you to all subscribers. We have hit a massive milestone for our little channel here, where we hit 1,500 subscribers earlier in the week, which is amazing. It really is. Thank you to everybody that's joined us on this journey so far. It's very much appreciated. We love your support. We love hearing from all of you as well, and we love seeing your modifications. So if you have got any modifications you'd like to send us, or hey, take a look at this, and we're happy to show them on the channel, show your work off to the whole world, let everyone see what you've been up to. You can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. If you are sticking around for our Titanic tale, we are talking about the very macabre story of what was discovered on Collapsible A. It's a bit grim, this one, so it's not for everybody. So forewarning. But the discovery of disposable A, lifeboat disposable A, is pretty harsh. Here's a picture of the recovery. So Collapsible A was the last of the life vessels to launch from the Titanic, and it didn't really launch. It drifted off the deck. They couldn't get Collapsible A into the water. They tried tying ropes to it and pulling it off, but couldn't. And it wasn't until Titanic was heading towards the depths that it just floated off. But it did throw out a lifeline, essentially, to people that were already in the water. So there was nobody really in Collapsible A when it set sail. It was people that were already in the water climbed into it. And they believe around 30 people scrambled and climbed into Collapsible A. The problem was the majority of those people had been in the water for a long time at that point, in freezing water. Some of those have been in the water for upwards of an hour, which is it's a lot. Unfortunately, of the 30 people that climbed into Collapsible A, only 12 of them lived. Most of them died through the night because the cold got them. Which it's a terrible thing. And I mean, there was a belief that a lot of the people that died in the waters of the Atlantic on that night died of hypothermia. They didn't. The majority of people died of heart failure. Heart attack is what killed them, which I suppose is a symptom of hypothermia, but it was heart failure that killed most people. It wasn't the long-term hypothermia that killed them. It was heart failure. So deaths would have been quite sudden. Once it actually happened. Whereas if you were on Collapsible A, what actually happened was hypothermia kicked in through the night, and you essentially froze to death and passed away. And a lot of those died in their sleep. So when Carpathia arrived, and they sent out more vessels. They found Collapsible A, and there were 12 people on board still alive. Most of the people that died through the night had been buried at sea, basically put over the side. It's a nice way of saying thrown over the side to ease some of the weight that was on board. So there were, I believe, 15 people when Collapsible A was discovered on board. 12 of them were still alive, 3 of them were dead. So they got the 12 onto one of the Carpathia's lifeboats, and they tried to get the 3 remaining out of Collapsible A, but failed to. They failed to get them out because they died, and they let it drift away. So Collapsible A wasn't recovered. Collapsible A just set adrift. That's what happened to it. So who were the 3 people left on board? Well, it wasn't discovered until a month later, and it was actually the Oceanic that discovered Collapsible A. And here's a picture of them spotting and heading out to it. Now, Collapsible A in this picture is marked by an X, so that's how you'll be able to see it. When Collapsible A was discovered, there were 3 people on board. There were 2 firemen from the engine room of the Titanic, and there was a first-class passenger. Now, this is where it gets a bit grim, and don't say I didn't warn you. The bodies are decomposed massively at this point, so the firemen were never identified. They couldn't identify who the firemen were. They were able to identify the first-class passenger, who was Thompson Beatty, and the reason they were able to identify him is because he was still in his dinner jacket, even though the body had took massive decomposition. He was still wearing his dinner jacket and had identification on him, so they knew it was Thompson Beatty. All 3 were buried at sea. They were just put to the depths because the decomposition was so bad. Warning here, that when they tried to move one, the arm came off. That's how bad these bodies are decomposed. So they were buried at sea there and then. Inside the boat, they found an envelope, and inside the envelope was a wedding band, and it belonged to these 2. So they are Edward and Gerda Lindell. They know that the wedding band belongs to them because engraved inside the band was Edward and Gerda. Now we know that Edward Lindell was on board Collapsible A, and we also know, sadly, what happened to Gerda. When they were both already in the water. When they saw Collapsible A, they made a swim for it, to swim to the vessel. Edward made it. Gerda didn't. She went under the water and didn't come back up. Exhaustion had got her, and she pretty much died there and then. Edward clutched the ring. It's very sad. This is an incredibly sad story. It's choking me up. Edward was last seen clutching her wedding band and his wedding band in the boat, and he perished in the night. So he didn't survive either. But they did find the ring, and they were able to return the ring to Gerda's father. And that is the very sad, macabre story of Collapsible A. So not everyone that got on a lifeboat lived, sadly. I mean, it's a positive story that 12 people that were in the water managed to get onto that boat and survive. That is a positive, but not everybody made it on that one, and it's a sad one. It's a very emotional one, I think. But that's all for this issue. We will be back very, very soon with issue 54, because I got to get these done, because if you haven't seen many of the other videos that we do, we are moving. We're moving home very, very soon. So this will be the last Hachette Build Titanics from this build room. I will be moving to my new build room. But it's not going to look like this. It's just going to be a plain white room, because I'm not going to have time to prettify it in some of the next ones. But I'm trying to do this with minimal disruption to the channel. So Don't worry about that. But yeah, we will be moving. So I need to get these 4 done just so I can then pack it all away for the move. But that's all for this one. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. Please remember to both like and subscribe. And you can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com with any questions or anything you'd like to tell us. We will catch you very soon for issue 54. I'll see you then.